All right, we are down to the last day of Town Star. This is my second episode, my second time playing this this game, this pay to play, pay to earn game. So there's about 32 minutes left. I do not know if there's still one day left after this 32 minutes. So I wanted to post a video on what was learned throughout this process, this second process of collecting. And as you can see, the town is running pretty well. I haven't had to do anything after the first 4 or 5 days, 6 days. Just check in periodically after that 6, 7, we'll say 10 days at the max window of learning how to create a fully functioning town. So if you look at the real world, how this kind of works out in the real world, it's the same way in business. You don't want to have to set up something and watch it monitor it over and over and over and do a click 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 for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At least I don't. Maybe you do, but I don't. So this is a fully functioning. I'm making cakes, baking cakes, the same as the first episode, making cakes. Uh, and I have one cakery here that makes the cakes, and I have two cakeries that are making the batters, and I have 4 storehouses. Let's see, we'll just go down the list a little bit. Bakeries, making the butter, churning the butter, a warehouse that's making the energy. So right now I don't need energy, so I sell those batteries, that energy for a little bit of the town coin or whatever it is, for just to get in place. So if we look at what place I'm in, my goal was 300, and right now I'm at 66. My highest was, I believe, 58. That was my highest rating, and some of these people are just kicking butt. So I'm ranked number 66. I go back and forth 65, 62, 66. So this is the home stretch. Hope Town, server 4, and I'm at 6,757,000. So some of these people, by the time day one hits, they're already at 6 million. And it takes quite a bit if you're not in a league, or what I found out, a league or a team or cooperative individuals that work together to create more money. So I have 123 million in the town coin, and I don't need money anymore. So I don't have to build anything. I just let it go. Um, I have lots of salt because salt takes a long time, takes about 7 minutes to grow, 2 to 7 minutes to grow. So I have more salt than I do wheat. I don't have that much wheat, and I have it spaced out so that it's not growing too fast or too slow. I have sugar canes, so my tractors are on a nonstop pretty much. There might be a lag here and there, but they're pretty much nonstop. So the sugar cane takes about 18 seconds, give or take. The wheat takes about the same, about, it's ready. As soon as they go and drop it off at the windmills, it's ready to go. 14 seconds left, and it's always ready to go. I got the lumberjacks creating the trees, my super lumberjacks creating the tree farms. And then I have, so the point of creating a power plant, 2 power plants, if you have 2 power plants, the refinery doesn't need any batteries. So I had 1 power plant and 1 refinery, 2 refineries at the first one. And I was making petroleum and making fuel, making petroleum, making fuel. Now I put up the second power plant in this one, and I realized that it gives it 3 extra energies, the ones next to it. So it's running free energy from those power plants to the refinery. The refinery only needs water, which I have the water pump creating the water, so it doesn't need water anymore, and all it has to do is make petroleum from the crude oil. And I have 2 oil pumps, one up here, one down here, that seem to be sufficient enough. Why is it up here? Oh, that's another story, because at one time I had a whole stretch of oil pumps to create the gasoline when I was first starting, and yeah, one of the other guys just had 1 oil pump. I found it better to have the 2 oil pumps. It kind of offsets it so that I can create the petroleum, and then I can create the energy and switch back and forth. Um, and it just gives it that nice little offset where I don't have to take as much time because it takes a lot of time for the oil pump to get ready. So it takes pretty much two oils to create one gasoline. So that's where it kind of ties in. So I would have to wait twice as long for that one gasoline, one fuel. So this way I get the fuel, I get the crude oil, and I can make the gasoline. I'm already back up to 34, so I can stop making the gasoline. I can make petroleum, and it took about 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes to create enough fuel that I can be sufficient enough probably for another 6 hours, 8 hours, and I don't have to worry about monitoring this this season. So, um, lessons learned in this one is, go off somebody else's template. And that's what I learned in this one. I went off somebody else's template and I kind of re-engineered it to work for me. So the individual that I went off of had two silos, one up here, one down here, and I found it better for me just to have the one silo in the end. I took out a silo, I added a windmill, and all these windmills are set up to grow either sugar cane or sugar, wheat, flour, and then the salt into the brine. So it's all set up, and I haven't touched any of those for a while. That was one of my last processes was to try to get those set up so that they're fully functioning. There's not too much flour being made over sugar, over brine, and it kind of all works out into the cake. Uh, the hardest thing is creating the cows and the chickens so that the chickens don't eat all the food, all the feed. Because chickens take less and they're faster than the cows. So the cows are slower, they take a lot more. So I have two chicken coops here and I was going back and forth putting this one to sleep, putting this one to sleep, waking this one up, putting this one to sleep, slip it. Because this one takes longer to get to the food than this one does. So and then this one is still asleep, so I probably could have eliminated these two because I haven't turned them on. I haven't touched them in a while, and it seems to be functioning pretty well. There's 14 eggs right now, no milk, so that's the battle is that there's no excess milk, right? So they're waiting on the milk down here in the bakery. Um, so I could turn it on, which I will. We'll turn it on, make some milk, and now it'll slow down the process where the eggs will take a little bit longer. They won't get as much eggs. And if I shut this off, turn this off, the biggest thing is remembering that you shut it off so that you don't get backed up. So I just shut that off. I got 15 eggs, so it takes 3 eggs to make a batter at the cakery. So that's about 5 times that they can make some batters and just turn it off for a little bit, turn it back on in a few minutes, 10, 20 minutes, maybe 5, depending on how long it takes the cows to all make the milk, right? So the ATVs, they're continuously going back and forth from the tractors, getting the wheat from the field, putting it in the one silo. And the reason that it's down here and the chicken coops down here is that the ATVs can go straight here and straight down to drop it in the feeders, the feed mills. So 4 to 5, and sometimes I'll turn these off. I've been turning these off and turn them back on depending on. I haven't done it in the last few days, uh, probably 7 days. I haven't touched them. So I just leave them continuously running, and it seems to pan out where the flour is being made. There's 13 flour, so they're definitely enough. The windmills, the people making the wheat or the flour, they're getting enough to sustain, to continue this flow, and that's what you want to create. Another challenge is the water. So I'm in a region where there was a lot of rocks, forests, and we'll look at the map on the big map and where I selected. And trying to find yourself, there you are, there I am. So I'm there, 66, number 66 place, and like I said, my goal was number top 300. So, and then at the end it was a top 100. So I broke that, and it looks like we're going to finish at about 66, 65, 67, one of those, in that area. Which for me, that's amazing because this is my second time playing, and like I said, I was I had 1,000 town coin, and people were at millions already after the first day. So it pays to have a setup, to have something figured out um, in the beginning, to have something in your vision, like how you want this town set up, and that makes all the work in the world easier. It takes away a lot of the pain. The roads were one of the last things that I kind of created. I set up my waters once I had a good blueprint of what I wanted, how I wanted things to go. I had waters, and I've re-engineered this a few times, which it slows process down when you're having to go back and get these last few details. Adding, so all this strip right here was all oil pumps. All right, so all the way down to here was pretty much all oil pumps, and it takes a lot of time once you take one or two out. That's where the challenge comes in, because you have to create, at least I did, I created a lot of workers where they would, they're cheap labor, and they would come in, and I would get them all to get the lumber. For me, the lumber, the wood, so the wood first. Once they get all the wood set up, then I would get the lumber mill guy set up so that he could create the lumber itself, and then the water if there's needs to be water, and those things. So I would put it in strategery to the point where it was efficient, where it would only take a third or a fourth of the time that one would take. So that, it takes a lot of planning, because if you take out one salt field, and that's where it really comes into play, is you don't want to take out the roads or anything big infrastructure. You want to take out and put in these worker bees, here closest to the area. So if they're making the lumber, you want to put them up here by the lumber so that they can grab the wood. And the water, if they're going to here for the energy, put them down here for closer to, you know, the water refiners, or the water people that are getting the crates of water, the gallons of water, the buckets of water. You want to put them down here so that they can get the energy and put the water in here. And that's what I learned after about 5 or 6 times of having to do this, re-engineer something. This road was connected in the beginning, according to the initial template that I went off, the individual that I went off of. But I realized that I don't really need this road. All it is just excess space. So I added more water, and I added a couple more salt fields, because the barns don't need a road. Chicken coops, the mills need a road, those need a road, and the tractors don't really need to be on the road to here, because they're going pretty fast, and they just go down here, and they have different routes they can take. So I did 3 more salt fields as a result, and it seems to be pretty well. And I was looking at different ways to create max efficiency. One of the ways that I did was, they have, if you're not aware, if you've never played this game before, there there are people that write scripts, there are people that have the scripts, and there's ways to get the scripts. And one of them is, that I found, is research and studying. So you don't have to write the scripts, they're already made for you. Just watch a video here and there and find out how to embed those scripts so that they work. The one thing about the scripts that I have noticed is that it slows down the process with a computer, and sometimes it interferes. If you're going to use your computer or whatever device you use for other purposes, that script may interfere with functionality of other programs in the long term and short term. So it may, cause, so I do Photoshop a lot, and what I realize is when I have Photoshop running and game this Town Star running, it really bogs down my computer, because I do not have a fast processor, a graphics card. So I was actually looking at purchasing a new graphics card, but some of those graphics cards run for about $4,000, $1,000 to $4,000, and it's cheaper to get a new computer at that rate. So this is a slow computer. One other way that you can really, really pick the speed up, and if you're slowing down your computer, is to change the settings to graphics quality, low, medium, and we'll just show you what that is. Low quality, if you're really slowed on your computer and you have everything set up and you're not too worried about having to see anything, and you don't need to like really see how everything's working, um, you can go to low quality and just let it run. And this is what I've been doing when I'm not here, not watching, not monitoring it. I just turn it to low and let them run the most efficient that they can. And one thing that I was thinking about is if we can speed up the time, depending on that computer or you know the needs of things, to speed it up so that these machines, or my machine, this machine, the farm, the town, actually runs faster than it could, right? The functionalities. These ATVs run faster. The production gets faster, gets better than what is normally, allowed. So that's something I may look into. There's also something that you can do. So this is on this, what server is this? A fourth server, I believe. Uh, you can do the weekly challenges where I guess you can get the GALA coin. Yeah, GALA currencies. And I just read something on Town Star where they're going to allow the next season to be free. Towncoin has gone down quite a bit if you're into the crypto markets and things like I am. GALA coin has gone down a little bit. Towncoin value has gone down significantly. However, the whole crypto realm right now is being affected, as well as the stock markets and other markets. All the markets are being affected as a result of the current economy, regardless of where we are. It's all being affected. So I have my NFT here. In order to get town coin, daily town coin, you need a NFT, and that is one of my NFTs. My other NFTs, this nice little fast express depot, which cuts it down. It takes about 9 seconds for delivery, and I'll just show you a delivery real quick. So you sell 16 batteries. You sell 10 at a time, and then it loads orders. And for some reason, it's really slow. Sometimes loading up your first sale, especially your first sale, seems to take a while to load up. So I shut down the computer before this, restarted the computer, just because I was noticing that it was bogging down from running running overnight. And I usually do that, reset it when it starts to slow down all the graphics information. So you sell one field, doesn't matter. From what I learned, it doesn't matter where you sell it to. The first time I sold the max fuel, and I didn't know that you only have to sell one fuel. It costs about 1,500. You get about 1,500 back every time you sell it. So you sell 10 batteries, and that's what I'm going to do. Sell 10 batteries, and that's the thing I do not have on auto sale. So the scripting, the coding that we can figure out that we can put in, you can put in where it auto sells those batteries. However, they make the batteries so fast that I would have to monitor it more. So I do that manually. Everything else kind of is on auto sales. So the significance about that is it frees up your time where you don't have to monitor it anymore. So if I was to monitor this right now at 20 cells, every time they make it to 20, they sell. And cakes 10, they make it, they sell 10. Because 10 you need to sell, you need to make 10 to sell. So sugar, 20 they sell. And eggs, I believe it's about 10. So every 10, so about 20, when they have 20, they sell. And the reason that I put eggs in is they make so many eggs. And that's one of the things that people run into is the eggs. The chickens, it's either the eggs or the milk. So usually the chickens make so many eggs, it's hard to get that to become normal. And where they don't make too many eggs, and already after this bit of time, 10 minutes, they're already down to 6 eggs. So I can turn the eggs back on to keep them functioning. They made enough milk and get them back in the business of creating their batter. So this is a fully functioning Town Star. So I made a list, and if you're like me, I made a tracker of progress. So there's on my form, there's everything from cakes to salt to flour to sugar to milk to butter to batter to eggs to wheat. The date, time, there's rankings that I have, like what rank I was, so I can track progress on where I am and where I was. There's 10 counts per page, so that at the end of those counts, I get the average. I average it out to see what my time was for sales for those items, individual items. And initially, I had my initial ones were uh, give you a couple. So cakes, I made about the initial ones. Some of these aren't right. Is about 1.16 cakes an hour. So as you can see on the right, you can see your little trackers, and this is part of the scripting, which I really enjoy, so I can see. And they haven't sold any. I haven't really sold any cakes or made any cakes yet since I restarted. That's why it shows 0. However, that's not accurate because probably going to be making cakes, and it's about three cakes, 3.53, 3.6 cakes every hour, 3.94. Um, the average count is 4 cakes an hour, so 4.065. The highest was 5.1, and again, that required a lot more time on my end to focus on mostly the milk and the eggs, making sure that the milk eggs were right on. And then we can look at the mean, the median of our sales and the progress, the time it takes. So again, going back, the lowest for the salt initially starting out was about 22 salts an hour. Flour was about 30 flour an hour. Sugar, and this is my sheet that I'm looking off of. Sugar was about 99 sugar an hour. Wheat about 376 wheat an hour. Eggs about 13 an hour. Batter is about 9, and butter was about 13. Oh, 6 was the lowest. 6 butter an hour, and that's pretty much starting out when you have a town and you have the basic necessities to create a cake. It takes a lot of work to get those first few, and that's where it really pays to have a vision in mind on how you want your town set up from the beginning. So having a blueprint set up, this can be a blueprint, snapshot it. Okay, this is how you want it set up. These are the roads you want. So depending on your location, I don't have water. I was looking for water because apparently water, and that's what really limited me making this, is the guy I was following had an ocean that he used, so he didn't have to have these waters right here, and I actually lost a whole bunch of field space just because I had to create the waters, which it is what it is, right? That's what I found. So at the end, we'll go on my list. At the end, I'm making 4 cakes an hour, roughly, give or take. That's the average count. And salts, I'm making 44 salts an hour. Flour is 56. Sugar is 62 sugars an hour. Milk is 41. Butters 20 butters an hour. Batters 11. Eggs 34. And then wheat is 751. So that seems to be functioning pretty well for me. And I had a journal of what was going on. So there's a problem with the GALA games initially a few days ago. Discord. So if you have problems with your GALA game, don't freak out because they're still in they're still testing these out, beta testing these things out. So GALA games, for the 11th of January, there was GALA problems. So I went to Discord and I checked out the Discord group, and they were all having problems loading. It wouldn't get past 60%. And then apparently it was winter, so that could be a problem that came in for this new thing. Before it was all nice and green, nice scene, and they added this winterization to it, so that might have been a problem as a result of it. They also said the servers were down, some of the servers were down, the nodes were down, and some of the problems that I found out were in the beginning were there was too much flour, milk, sugar, butter, not enough eggs, gas almost out, and then there was a couple glitches. And then I almost had it perfect. Need a little more salt, milk, eggs, and just tracking on your progress, what you want. So the importance of creating your own timestamp, your own timeline, and going off that, you can figure out how much you need, what you need, instead of just guesstimating what you need. So too many eggs made more gas, only 5 left, and that's when you go to bed at night. When you go to bed at night, it's really important to have your gas at full capacity so that you're not waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. freaking out that there's no gas, right? That you run out of gas and everything's backed up. Everyone goes to sleep. If there's no gas, there's no sales. Everyone goes back to sleep, just like money, right? It means that there's no money, so they can't sell anything. A few times I woke up or I came to check this, and all the stores were full. And I believe the guy I was following had about 5 different stores. I changed one of them. I took out a store, and the locations are different. I took out one of the stores. I only need 4, and that seems to be perfect, especially with the selling the auto sales. So the auto sales allow me to have these, and I don't think any of them since I started the auto sales where I sell at the numbers I sell, like 20 salts, there's not enough time for them to build up anymore to max capacity of the stores. So it's important to monitor those things, and then if you have too much of them, change them. And sugar is one of those things where I had to change a few times to get the right thing. I used to have it at 30 because there's a lot of sugar for the cakes, 10 sugar. But right now, every 20 they sell. I don't know if there's been any sales since. Um, so it takes 10 sugar. This is one is full. A storehouse is full. 13 salt, 4 flour, 3 cakes. So right now, change, right? It's 9.96 cakes an hour, which that'll change over time because, like I said, I reset this, and it'll take a little bit to catch back up, and eventually it'll go back to about 4 cakes, 3 to 4 cakes an hour, which is fine. And 720, I got one more time to track on this, 720, and that's about average for the last time I tracked this, 717 wheat. 717, 77. Yep, that's actually right on. So 24 eggs. My eggs before were 33, and I shut it off, so that's why the big difference is there. 10 batter, 15 batter an hour, and I had 10 batter an hour the last time I tracked, which is affected from the eggs and the milk. Butter, 25 butter. I had 20 butter, so that's affected by the milk and that's the eggs. The milk, 49. I had 41, so that's because I added another milk. So he's making another milk, another cow, activated him, so he's making more milk. And my eggs are going to go down. So the one here in the lower right-hand corner is really slow and takes a long time to get to the feed for some reason. So I usually shut him off. And these two right next to it, up and down from it, this one is probably the fastest one. This one is kind of the second fastest one. This one's the third fastest. And this one is slower than molasses. But it still works. So the chicken, I only do one. I turn them back both on, and before you know it, they're making so many chickens. Or so many eggs. They're making so many eggs that I can't keep up, and then I end up running out of fuel because they're selling more eggs than they're making cakes. Salt, go back to salt, and 50, so I had 46, and it's pretty much the same. Flour, 57, I had 56 for my last one, so that's about average. And that's what I've been averaging since the 15th of January, 58.28, 57. Before that, I was tracking this like every day, 3 times a day. I would put the numbers down every about 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours. I would put down the numbers and track the numbers. And I really like to track it because it shows me I don't have to like guesstimate on how these are doing. And if you want to go to the windmills, you could analyze how long it takes for the seconds and minutes of the windmills, but I'm not that concerned about their production because they seem to be doing pretty well how they're spaced out with wheat, salt, and sugar. And I moved, this one used to be salt, and then they would be making too much salt, and they couldn't keep up with, their recommendations of everything else. So they would be making too much salt, and then I'd get backed up in salt, and then it would slow up production. So I ended up moving him, put sugar here. I moved salts a little bit farther back. I put one here so that they're not making so much so fast. And I spaced them all out. Also creating like this is lessons learned for me. Having a blueprint, like a piece of paper or something that you want, that you can track where you want to make it, how you want to make it, and then write how you want it set up. So your vision on a piece of paper or somewhere where you're working on progress, and then you can cross it out, and then you can adjust it, the windmills and the fields as needed. So if you want to create something, you put it there, and then given time you can change it back. You have a blueprint where you can look back on if you forget. And those are things that I really wanted to talk about. So there's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this. So like I said, I don't know if there's one more day. There might be one more day, or this is the last day. I do not know. All I know is that it'll pretty much end, and then you'll have the rest of the day before it opens up again. The biggest problem, the biggest hurdles were just when the glitch came, it was functioning, and then I shut it down, and it would get to 60% on January 11th. And I was resetting my computer, turning things on and off, Wi-Fi, checking the Wi-Fi, checking the internet connection, starting to panic a little bit because it's an investment that some of us have put in a lot of time, a lot of energy into this new universe, pay to earn, pay to play type thing, and we do a lot of due diligence. So when it shuts down, the first thing to do is, okay, how do you get access to these people? How can you email them? How can you find out customer support? And then going into the Discord and finding out, okay, so everyone's having this problem. It's not just me. They give you troubleshooting ideas. You try them out, and then you figure out. So what I figured out was just keep on trying, keep on loading it, restart the computers, try Wi-Fi, and then it ended up loading. So you just keep on trying, keep on trying. Eventually, it'll get a server, connect to a server, and apparently it worked. So I don't know if it's because of the Christmas lights that they put on, this new winterization scene. I also noticed that it kind of slowed down the lumberjacks. They took a lot longer going to the field, so I moved. These trees were in the back initially when it was all green, and then when the winter came, I had to move a few of them up closer so that they didn't take as long to get out of the snow. Apparently they track the snow, and they don't have snowshoes, so they take a lot longer to get. That's what I noticed, at least. So I moved them real quick, didn't take too much time, to a better spot. And that's pretty much it. This is the Town Star that I've been working on, the second season. Any questions, comments, always, check out my page or leave comments. I'll upload this onto YouTube and some other sites. So this is a good journey. Here we go. We're at 0 seconds, and now we are going to one more day. So this is the last day. That's what I was kind of worried about. So that's kind of the last day. So now what you saw was all green, and now it won't take me any time to get back to green. So literally the best thing about this, the way it's set up right now, is that I don't have to monitor it. I don't have to wait. So I've noticed that here it takes so long for the calculations to come through. Sometimes it'll take hours. Uh, I'll sell. You only need earn 1,000 stars to earn. And right now I have 11 town coin. That's what I earned because I have 2 NFTs. So there's a water tower and there's this. So I should be earning 12, but apparently they don't track that Express Depot as 1. So I earn 11 town coin every day. Town coin last I saw was at 20 cents to the dollar. So that's not the best. The highest, it was at 60 cents for a while, 40 cents. I'm not too concerned because it is what it is. But it'll take a lot of time. 1,000 stars, and literally I sell 1 cake, 10 cakes. I sell cakes, and it should go automatically to max capacity, but it does not. I'm at 6,757,340,000. We'll see the top 10. And this is a good thing about the auto sales, is that you can set up the script where there's about 3 scripts you can set up, and you can see how much they're making an hour. So he's 61,000 every hour, 0.65 hours, so not even an hour. 46 million, and that's what we have to compete with. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Go back. Oh, it went to the first place. Okay. The second place, I'll go back to top 10. So top 10, second place is 43,000, not even a full hour, and they're at 24 million. So they're making quite a bit more than I'm making. 6 million. Like I said, day one they were already at millions, at a few million after day, not even day one complete. They were already at a million. So if you want a place in these top 10, top 20s, I would recommend get with a team, get with a league, get with people that work together, I guess. And you can sell, the more I'm learning about this, you can sell and you can tag with other people where you're not using your own field. I haven't learned that part. However, it's a learning process. Nowadays, they're paying people to code, to learn how to code. They're paying people, they want people to learn how to code. They want people to learn how to um, be able to adapt, right? So this one's at 10 million, top 20. At one time, I thought I was going to get to the top 20. When I was going up and up and up every day, I was moving up like 5 spots, 5 more spots with my sales, and then I just hit a plateau. My plateau was 60, 60, 62, 58, and then, now I'm at 67, right? So some people are just really cracking the whip, and I'm just letting things go. However they turn out, they turn out. Hope Town. And the bottom 10, so how many people are playing this? 15,000. So last time I checked, there was only 8,000 playing. So this is good. There's 15,000. Some people, they're not collecting any town coins, so they're just playing it to have fun, right? And this is a fun game. If you know Farm Town, I used to play Farm Town. That was a lot of fun, learning how things work, how things grow, and this is a snapshot on the real world on how to get things to kind of function. But it's amazing. 46 million, and then you go to the bottom 10, 15,000. They have 0 points, and for some reason you can't scroll up. There we go. It just takes a while. So all these people are just having fun playing this, learning this. And the hardest thing to do is don't run out of gas, don't run out of money. You can see wherever else they are. Yeah, if you run out of fuel, you're kind of done. And if you run out of money, you're kind of done. So you got to really be strategic in making your town. So I consider this a little village, and the people around me, the little villagers. Where am I at? I don't want to go to me. Let's go back to my rank. See where I am. There I am. So I'm close to the water. I'm also close to, there's my town. There's my metropolis. So it takes about 8 seconds to get there for me because I have Express Depot, and even without that, it would take about 10, 15 seconds. But there's no water. These people are in prime real estate because they have water, green lands. Some of them have the mountains here so they can refine other things, minerals. But this is the best spot that I could find when I got in. And even figuring out where the best place is, see there's a metropolis way over here. That one would take a long time to get from point A to point B. But the way the leagues work apparently is what I'm not sure 100%, but you can sell and you can trade and you can barter with other people to work together to create more. And you can see the express depots going from one spot to the next. There's express depots going from their spot to the next. And it's pretty neat. You can just watch this for a while and see all the pictures that people have up. Some of them personal profiles. Mine is my old little doggy. My mom's little doggy, Angel, little GIF. That's why you see that going back and forth. I created a little GIF for it, for her memory of her. Oh, we're selling 10 cakes. See, it's on. See, this is the advantage of having auto sells, where it sells automatically. Oh, and I could first time seeing this, I can actually see my Express Depot go, and it takes about 8 seconds. Look at that. It goes straight back. Boom. Comes back. Boom. Done. That was 10 cakes sold. So come back here. and it goes to 6.8 million. Let's see if that bumped me up to 66. And like I said, so at the ranking level, I was behind. I was at 67, so I just got up an extra 200,000, so 120,000. It's pretty cool, and I can sell some more batteries too, just to increase that lead a little bit. And that's all they're doing. So he can stop making fuel, gasoline, and I can actually make some more petroleum because I'm back down to 31. So I like to keep it up about 30 midday. And at night I want to make sure that it's about at least 25 to 30. 20 last night it was about 25 and I called it a night. Woke up and I still had about 11 fuel left. So 6, 7, 8 hours, go by and you still have fuel. That's a fully functioning, I could even sell some gasoline if I wanted to. Sell some gasoline, 10 gasoline, you sell 10 gasoline. I don't need the gas. I can always make it real quick, and I can make it even quicker if I just shut this down, the battery guy down. He'll make a whole bunch of petroleum, 10, 20, 30 minutes, and I'll have a full load again. And it's fun. So this is it. Like I said, oh, and here we go. I'm already maxed out where I can collect my rewards for the day. So if you have NFTs, you're collecting rewards. I only needed 1,000. This actually really increased 44,000. Usually it takes about half the day before it'll calculate it. But 44,750, that's what I made, so I can collect. I only needed 1,000. Collect my rewards. And if you go back to your website, the GALA website, you can check your inventory and check your NFTs and check your status on those things. The biggest thing about that though is that you need so much crypto and it takes a lot of gas fees. So what people are going to learn is the cost, the true value and the true cost with all these fees associated. But I did hear that Gala Games is going to create their own lightning speed transactions where they no longer need to charge so much gas for your cryptocurrencies. To withdraw, a lot of the problems come in withdrawals. So if you want to withdraw it, it's huge. It's about 50% just to withdraw it. But anyways, it's a fun game. Hope you enjoy. Use this as a template if you want. I like templates, so use this as a template or whatever templates you find. You can create anything, sugarcane, candy cane stores, and those things I haven't dabbled in. I've just dabbled into the cakeries, and this is my second cakery, so it seems to be functioning pretty well. There's some more milk being made. All right, with that, till the next time, aloha.